I'm going to read something to you here. Imperatives to the unconscious. I get a lot of inspirations like carving the Kriya from Reiki, things that I remember from time to time, but often I'm either in the street, college, work, and I have these thoughts and I forget to write them down. So, recall the specific form of those inspirations. Overcome losing the moment, the plot, the timing, my edge, my cool. Key into my inner positive self automatically when switched on by certain challenges. Also, just on awakening, to automatically attract the best and most practically positive trust from the general public constantly, so that people trust whatever venture or business I enter. People trust my mission, flow with my ideas, go with my directives, try my services, attract how many more of the kinds of supportive business friends that I would like to have around me, and breathing life, health, power, vigor and wealth into my business, and doing away with the neg, with taking some things too personally. So, basic self, take this thought to the high self and work together to create for me an aura, attitude and projections that communicate wealth of knowledge, kindness, service, respectability in business and principle, which in its turn turns many things around, turns those who seem to resist my ventures into loyal followers and distributors. I'm unearthing kernels here and submodalities of mine versus not mine, entering versus leaving, forming versus dissolving, real versus not real, permanent versus temporary, submodalities of neg versus positive, disloyal versus loyal, heckling versus supporting, hatred versus loved, dissed versus respected. So to recap, capture the moment, capturing that bird of the mind yet again. Feel inspired and motivated to write it and speak it when I glimpse, notice, realize or think it. Do without needing to express it simultaneously. Write and draw sigil talisma to focus a powerful expression of that realized desire. Work the understanding in the knowing and philosophy that it don't matter if nor how you outwardly express realizations and desires, because the universe, as the universe, exists along with that. You know, there's a thing in law of attraction which says express outwardly, state what they want from the universe, what their desires are, what they wish for. A counter belief to that says that it doesn't matter whether you state what you desire out of life, because the universe vibrates with your wishes and desires within it. Even if your wishes and desires have never been expressed, your wishes and desires are real and true, and they exist, and they are part of the universe. Attention gives a thing some kind of energy, so therefore it doesn't matter whether you express it or not. The universe knows your wishes and desires. Now, my angle on that is, can you bank on that? Can I rely on the fact that the universe knows my wishes, what I want out of life, and provides that for me? Can I really take that to the bank? Can I repel and make no longer true any and all piss-take, mistrust, distrust, and non-adherence? Make now true a following, a massive dream team, dream following. The dream team is more than just putting an advert together, a Facebook page together that says I want to build a dream team, and doing nothing with, and having no one subscribe to and no one ever see. Let's really think about exactly what a dream team really is. And I want to leave that with you as a seed thought, as something that takes root in the soil of your mind, in the earth of your existence. I want you to think about what a dream team really is, because if you admit the truth, you've got your books to sell, so you want to impress people and pull them to buy your books. You can't expect people to subscribe to what you have or to buy what you have if that's the way you're going to treat them. You have to be nice to some degree. When I talk about building a dream team, what I'm looking for specifically are people who actively, consciously, willfully support a new kind of relating to friends, acquaintances, and business colleagues. A new attitude of business building, of growing past envy and willfully making the time to lift one another to heaven. A direct selling business within a family, especially if family members buy into it, gives the relationships between family members, it gives the relating a professional footing. It opens the opportunity for conversation and interaction to be about products, services, opportunities, skills and attitudes, education and learning, even learning to relate in a professional and balanced way. See, a lot of families are feuding nowadays. The broken, dysfunctional family is the latest fashion. Everyone has a dysfunctional family. All you've got to do is look 2 or 3 doors down the street, or a few doors behind you, or a couple of doors in front of you, and you'll see dysfunction, violence, nastiness, perversion. It's all around us. I reckon that one of the reasons why such dysfunction exists in our society is because as people we are so often pushed into situations by mundane daily living, by everyday circumstance, where we have to communicate directly with other members of the family. Now, so what's the problem with communicating directly? Well, the problem is this, if you don't get it already. Communicating directly is actually far too raw. For most people, 99% of the human race cannot actually handle direct communication. They might say they want you to straight talk them. They want you to be straight and honest. They might say this, sure. But especially those that say it can't handle it. Those who try to boast about the fact that they're the straight talkers and they're only giving it to you straight. Most of the ones that can give it to you straight can't hack it when you give it to them straight. Most of the ones that think or say or try to prove that they're the straight talkers can't actually handle straight talk themselves. And even then, straight talk is what leads to fraction and faction and fighting and dysfunction and war, because there's never any agreement. And there's never any agreement because in such situations there's no third position. There's no third person to focus on. There's no third object to focus on. You're focusing on one another, backwards and forwards. And that's where the fighting comes in. Because you're focusing on one another, backwards and forwards. Neither of you can really hack it or handle it. All nice communication, all positive communication, all constructive communication just goes to pot. A direct selling business within a family opens the way for professional type conversation about that third object, about that third thing that takes the onus off one another. instead of being about one another, and the negs that direct relating can dredge up and drag one through. Instead of being in someone's company and not knowing what to say, what to do, or how to approach a thing, often it is the direct relating that causes family members to feud and fight. Put two animals in a room together, and sooner or later, doesn't matter what animal it is or what gender it is, sooner or later they will vie for pecking order. Even humans, put two humans of any age, of any gender, from any background in a room together, and sooner or later they will vie, albeit subtly at times, and albeit vehemently at other times. They will vie for pecking order, position, and top dog position. Two nations facing one another, war or schism will break out sooner or later. It takes three to make a partnership. The third needs to be unpredictable. The third cannot be totally counted on to be a support for either one of them against the other all the time. That way, they all learn to communicate. And when one starts negging at the other, the third one might kick in and might not. And when these two start negging at one another, this one might or might not kick in on either side, or might just back off, or might just throw a grenade in the middle or something like that. You know, the communication is in a circle. It's not a circle between two people. It's a fight with three people. There's a cycling going on. There's distractions going on. There's always something to distract someone else to focus on. A professional footing to a relationship takes the onus off the shoulders of one another and the game that goes on between people, and can bring the benefits, including stability, to those over-familiar family relationships which have destructive hats for one another. Thank you.